Hello brothers and sisters, welcome to another episode here on Dangerous African Confessions HD. In this episode, we have a confession from an ex-occultist pastor who wants to share some secrets about how these fake pastors who consult these voodoo and dark powers attain their powers and how they operate. In this powerful testimony or confession, he talks about how he went to Congo for his powers, which led him into a very dark places, and his encounters that he had is what he wants to share with us. This, he said, is to make our people aware of what is out there and also for them to know what some pastors are up to. Now, I will entreat you all to pay close attention to what he has for us. Without taking much of your time, let us go and listen to him. And please don't forget to subscribe, like and share this video so that others can listen to it.
My brother, it with no pleasure nor happiness that I am going to have this conversation with you. But my happiness will be that someone out there will listen to this information I am going to give you, so that he or she can take something out of it. That is the only thing I am looking for by giving out this information. By the grace of the Lord Almighty, I have been there and He has in His own wisdom given me the chance again. This is why I am telling the world about what I have seen and witnessed with my own eyes. I am going to talk about some 2 or 3 most important things that people should look out for when dealing with some of these so-called prophets out there. I didn't believe things were really real in this continent of Africa until I got to this level of involvement in the dark powers. The whole thing was when I started my ministry. I didn't have a church to call my own. And honestly, I didn't want to have one. I only wanted to be a minister who would be called upon to minister to people from church to church, and then organize crusades all over. That was the vision and the focus. I also had a friend of mine who was also into ministry. And he was just like my right-hand man. Anywhere I would go, he was with me. He told me about this program in the northern part of the country, where he told me that the pastor had actually asked him if he knew me, and he said yes. So it was through him that the pastor got access to me. So after ministry at his church, he told me that he would need to have some discussions with me, but he wanted it to be on a different day. This, he said, was because I didn't come there for that discussion. And for that reason, when he also comes to the southern part of the country, he will visit me so we talk. At that time, all I believed was that any man who stands in front of the pulpit to preach as a pastor cannot really go seek for powers from any other place. So to me there was nothing like that. I remember it was one Friday even when the man got to our end and I had to go and meet him like they had said previously. So it was during this meeting that he started whetting my appetite for rituals and serious directions. He did spend about a week and we talked extensively about how to grow my ministry to become one of the most sought after men in the country. When our meeting came to the final end, it was for us to make a journey outside of this country to Burkina Faso, where I was to meet someone who was so much inclined when it came to the things of the spirits. So yes, the day came and I made the journey with him to Burkina like he had suggested. When we got there, we met this old woman who told us that the man that we had come to see had traveled to Congo. So, she suggested we either go back and return when the man comes back, or we can travel to Congo and meet him there. The reason why we decided to continue to Congo was that we got to know that everything the man does in Burkina, his source is in Congo. And for that reason, if his source is in Congo, then it will be wise for us to meet him at where his source is. So yes, we continued our journey back home and made preparations towards going to Congo. And when the day came, we certainly traveled to Congo and finally we had the chance to meet the man. The place where his shrine is in an outlet that ways, he is a bit isolated from the town where he is. So we did got there around 4 to 5 p.m. the day we got there. We told him of our reasons for making the journey and he made us aware that, indeed we had come to the right place. It was there that I got to know that Congo is so much more deep into these kinds of dark and occult powers. You see, we spent 3 days there at the man's place. And in the first day, he spent time teaching us about how the spirit or the powers there works. And the fact that a lot of pastors who have come there for powers to enable their church to grow in multitude of people. The names that were mentioned there was something that was too good to be true. But then, when I was finally initiated, that was when I got to know that all that he said about those pastors were true. You see, once you are initiated into what the Spirit demands of you, and you are able to go through with whatever is required of you, there is this ring and other things that were given to you. And with these things that you have, anyone who belongs to that place, when you meet yourselves, you immediately know that you guys are coming from the same power source. Hence, the group of pastors or prophets will be the same pastors that goes to each other's churches and minister for themselves. So back to when I was with these people going through my initiation, I was made to first of all cut a certain portion of my body. Just a normal small cut so that we can make blood covenants with the blood that will come out. So after finishing with this portion of the initiation, I was then told of my baptism on a river that is at the back of this man's place. And this baptism happened at night when the moon was high and bright in the sky. Right after I came out of the water, it was more like I had gotten some new kind of boldness. So with me being naked, I was given an egg and was asked to swallow it, which I did. So when that night I was done with those things needed to be done, I was told the last things would be done the next morning before I leave for my country. So that morning, I was called into a small room where I was made to swear an oath to a crocodile-like structure on the room. Remember, I was baptized in the water and now I am to swear an oath to the crocodile. It all ties in if you can read the meanings into it. The spirit was a marine spirit that I was sweating to and seeking powers from. And then I was told these instructions to follow. I was told to have something like a fountain at where I was going to call my own. Remember, I told you I didn't want to have a church. This is the reason why I had to establish the church. Because people needed to draw the water from the fountain when they come to see me for spiritual directions. And at the end of every year, I was supposed to go back to Congo and get water from the river in which I was baptized and come back home with the water to mix it with the fountain water. This is to make sure that the powers that be can be effective in the Fungame water the whole year. So before I move on, I would like to advise anyone listening to me to be very much careful with pastors that tells you, I have blessed this water for you and all that. Most of them have secrets that they are not going to open up about it. By the time you will know it, maybe they would have used you for sacrifice long time. And because they get the numbers, when people are dying, you may not notice it like someone who may be having just like 100 or 200 members. Again, I was given a ring as a sign of being able to command people to do whatever I wanted them to do. That they call, do as I say. Then again, I was given a horn which I will be using to anoint people. The last instruction was that I was to find time, say in a year, or will have to do it once or twice, where I will organize a program and then wash the feet of the members in the church. That is, I will personally make sure that I am washing the feet of each and every one of the members that will come that day. By so doing, I am also cementing you and connecting your spirit to my source. Because before I would do such program, there are things I would have done in order to invoke the spirits into the water that I will be using. Again, there is something that I would also like to state here for a fact. If you go to any church and they have decorated the church so nicely and you see fruits on the altar, my friend, you better begin to run for your life. Because most of them uses the fruits as a sacrifice to the spirit that is on the altar always. You will notice that, when it gets to a time, they will tell you to come for the fruits and eat them. My brothers and sisters, you are signing your soul agreement to whatever powers that the pastor is using in that church. For this one, I can guarantee you that they always try to find a way and make it look like there is nothing wrong with doing that. But everything is so wrong with that. For me, I don't care about them for now. This is because they certainly know what they are doing. So when I started working on these things that I have gotten myself involved with, I started having dreams where I will see my grandmother. And one thing is that, my grandmother is the one that raised me. And she does just when I turned 18. The very next day, after I celebrated my 18th birthday, she died. She was the love that I ever got in a person. And anytime I will see her in my dream, it is like she is not in support of what I was doing. And she will tell me to do one thing or the other. But even with all that, I didn't pay much attention to them. Until one day there was this man who came to me when I was standing in front of the house where I was staying. This man told me that my grandmother sent him to me. At first I laughed because this woman is dead. And he told me that, for me to know that indeed it was my grandmother who sent him, She told him certain things she used to do with me and for me. And one very thing she used to tell me. This man told me all of that. And for him to know that, I knew it was actually something that I needed to pay attention to. This man told me that, my grandmother is telling him to come and tell me that, all the dreams that I have been having from her, is true. And it is her own way of letting me know that she is still looking after me. And I should put a stop to whatever I have started to practice, because it won't end well for me. And every direction she has been giving me, I should follow them, and she will continue to guide me. That was all. I even wanted to know who he was, but he insisted it was not important, because he needed to give me a message which he has done. So that was the turning point for me. So I started doing what she was showing me in my dreams. So, I was lucky, and I don't know if you will also be as lucky as I was or I am. Please be wise and try to save yourself from these people. The kind of things they have gotten themselves involved with, it will shock you if you get to know. Thank you, and I hope I have touched someone out there. Shalom, peace be unto you all.
Don't forget to please subscribe, share and like our videos. Kindly hit the notification bell so you will be the first to get notification to our videos when we upload. Indeed, I believe this story is something that is really tearing me down, and at the same time I feel so happy. At least for the life of our brother and beautiful woman who is still fighting for him wherever she may be. We really are very much thankful to you, brother, for sharing this part of your journey with us. We are blessed and we hope to learn from you. I will say that it is only the good Lord who knows the best for us all. I will advise our brother to constantly seek the face of the Lord, because he has something special on the way coming for you. Maybe this is meant to test your faith in him, to see how and what you will do in times like this. Like I always say, these are not just stories for story's sake. They are meant for us not to make these mistakes our brothers and sisters are making. That's why we share these stories with you. Just like we always do in this house, please let us also hear from you, our beautiful family members. Let's listen to your views and concerns and comments in the comment section. Yes, just as we are here to share with ourselves what is going on out there, we do bring these conversations with you, our family members, to help their innocent brothers and sisters to realize what is happening out there, that they do not have any idea about, so that they can make their own decisions going forward in their day-to-day activities. I just hope that we honestly take the important lessons from these stories to better our lives and decisions. Stay blessed and be safe. Thanks for being a part of this growing family. Kindly share your thought with us in the comment section below. And if you are new here, please subscribe, like and share.